Deuteronomy 11, verse 1. Love the Lord your God and keep his requirements, his decrees, his laws and his commands always. 2. Remember today that your children were not the ones who saw and experienced the discipline of the Lord your God, his majesty, his mighty hand, his outstretched arm. 3. The signs he performed and the things he did in the heart of Egypt, both to Pharaoh king of Egypt and to his whole country. 4. What he did to the Egyptian army, to its horses and chariots, how he overwhelmed them with the waters of the Red Sea as they were pursuing you, and how the Lord brought lasting ruin on them. 5. It was not your children who saw what he did for you in the wilderness until you arrived at this place. 6. And what he did to Dathan and Abiram, sons of Eliab the Reubenite, when the earth opened its mouth right in the middle of all Israel and swallowed them up with their households, their tents and every living thing that belonged to them. 7. But it was your own eyes that saw all these great things the Lord has done. 8. Observe therefore all the commands I am giving you today, so that you may have the strength to go in and take over the land that you are crossing the Jordan to possess. 9. And so that you may live long in the land the Lord swore to your ancestors to give to them and their descendants, a land flowing with milk and honey. 10. The land you are entering to take over is not like the land of Egypt, from which you have come, where you planted your seed and irrigated it by foot as in a vegetable garden. 11. But the land you are crossing the Jordan to take possession of is a land of mountains and valleys that drinks rain from heaven. 12. It is a land the Lord your God cares for. The eyes of the Lord your God are continually on it from the beginning of the year to its end. 13. So if you faithfully obey the commands I am giving you today, to love the Lord your God and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. 14. Then I will send rain on your land in its season, both autumn and spring rains, so that you may gather in your grain, new wine and olive oil. 15. I will provide grass in the fields for your cattle, and you will eat and be satisfied. 16. Be careful, or you will be enticed to turn away and worship other gods and bow down to them. 17. Then the Lord's anger will burn against you, and he will shut up the heavens so that it will not rain and the ground will yield no produce, and you will soon perish from the good land the Lord is giving you. 18. Fix these words of mine in your hearts and minds, tie them as symbols on your hands and bind them on your foreheads. 19. Teach them to your children, talking about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. 20. Write them on the doorframes of your houses and on your gates. 21. So that your days and the days of your children may be many in the land the Lord swore to give your ancestors, as many as the days that the heavens are above the earth. 22. If you carefully observe all these commands I am giving you to follow, to love the Lord your God, to walk in obedience to him and to hold fast to him. 23. Then the Lord will drive out all these nations before you, and you will dispossess nations larger and stronger than you. 24. Every place where you set your foot will be yours. Your territory will extend from the desert to Lebanon, and from the Euphrates River to the Mediterranean Sea. 25. No one will be able to stand against you. The Lord your God, as he promised you, will put the terror and fear of you on the whole land, wherever you go. 26. See, I am setting before you today a blessing and a curse. 27. The blessing if you obey the commands of the Lord your God that I am giving you today. 28. The curse if you disobey the commands of the Lord your God and turn from the way that I command you today by following other gods, which you have not known. 29. When the Lord your God has brought you into the land you are entering to possess, you are to proclaim on Mount Gerizim the blessings, and on Mount Ebal the curses. 30. As you know, these mountains are across the Jordan, westward, toward the setting sun, near the great trees of Moreh, in the territory of those Canaanites living in the Arabah in the vicinity of Gilgal. 31. You are about to cross the Jordan to enter and take possession of the land the Lord your God is giving you. When you have taken it over and are living there. 32. Be sure that you obey all the decrees and laws I am setting before you today. Deuteronomy 12, verse 1. These are the decrees and laws you must be careful to follow in the land that the Lord, the God of your ancestors, has given you to possess, as long as you live in the land. 2. Destroy completely all the places on the high mountains, on the hills and under every spreading tree, where the nations you are dispossessing worship their gods. 3. Break down their altars, smash their sacred stones and burn their Asherah poles in the fire, cut down the idols of their gods and wipe out their names from those places. 4. You must not worship the Lord your God in their way. 5. But you are to seek the place the Lord your God will choose from among all your tribes to put his name there for his dwelling. To that place you must go. 6. There bring your burnt offerings and sacrifices, your tithes and special gifts, what you have vowed to give and your freewill offerings, and the firstborn of your herds and flocks. 7. There, in the presence of the Lord your God, you and your families shall eat and shall rejoice in everything you have put your hand to, because the Lord your God has blessed you. 8. You are not to do as we do here today, everyone doing as they see fit. 9. Since you have not yet reached the resting place and the inheritance the Lord your God is giving you. 10. But you will cross the Jordan and settle in the land the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance, and he will give you rest from all your enemies around you so that you will live in safety. 11. Then to the place the Lord your God will choose as a dwelling for his name, there you are to bring everything I command you, your burnt offerings and sacrifices, your tithes and special gifts, and all the choice possessions you have vowed to the Lord. 12. And there rejoice before the Lord your God, you, your sons and daughters, your male and female servants, and the Levites from your towns who have no allotment or inheritance of their own. 13. Be careful not to sacrifice your burnt offerings anywhere you please. 14. Offer them only at the place the Lord will choose in one of your tribes, and there observe everything I command you. 15. Nevertheless, you may slaughter your animals in any of your towns and eat as much of the meat as you want, as if it were gazelle or deer, according to the blessing the Lord your God gives you. Both the ceremonially unclean and the clean may eat it. 16. But you must not eat the blood, pour it out on the ground like water. 17. You must not eat in your own towns the tithe of your grain and new wine and olive oil, or the firstborn of your herds and flocks, or whatever you have vowed to give, or your freewill offerings or special gifts. 18. Instead, you are to eat them in the presence of the Lord your God at the place the Lord your God will choose, you, your sons and daughters, your male and female servants, and the Levites from your towns, and you are to rejoice before the Lord your God in everything you put your hand to. 19. Be careful not to neglect the Levites as long as you live in your land. 20. When the Lord your God has enlarged your territory as he promised you, and you crave meat and say, I would like some meat, then you may eat as much of it as you want. 21. If the place where the Lord your God chooses to put his name is too far away from you, you may slaughter animals from the herds and flocks the Lord has given you, as I have commanded you, and in your own towns you may eat as much of them as you want. 22. Eat them as you would gazelle or deer. Both the ceremonially unclean and the clean may eat. 23. But be sure you do not eat the blood, because the blood is the life, and you must not eat the life with the meat. 24. You must not eat the blood, pour it out on the ground like water. 25. Do not eat it, so that it may go well with you and your children after you, because you will be doing what is right in the eyes of the Lord. 26. But take your consecrated things and whatever you have vowed to give, and go to the place the Lord will choose. 27. Present your burnt offerings on the altar of the Lord your God, both the meat and the blood. The blood of your sacrifices must be poured beside the altar of the Lord your God, but you may eat the meat. 28. Be careful to obey all these regulations I am giving you, so that it may always go well with you and your children after you, because you will be doing what is good and right in the eyes of the Lord your God. 29. The Lord your God will cut off before you the nations you are about to invade and dispossess. But when you have driven them out and settled in their land, 30. And after they have been destroyed before you, be careful not to be ensnared by inquiring about their gods, saying, how do these nations serve their gods? We will do the same. 31. You must not worship the Lord your God in their way, because in worshiping their gods, they do all kinds of detestable things the Lord hates. They even burn their sons and daughters in the fire as sacrifices to their gods. 32. See that you do all I command you, do not add to it or take away from it. Deuteronomy 13. Verse 1. If a prophet, or one who foretells by dreams, appears among you and announces to you a sign or wonder, 2. And if the sign or wonder spoken of takes place, and the prophet says, let us follow other gods, gods you have not known, and let us worship them, 3. You must not listen to the words of that prophet or dreamer. The Lord your God is testing you to find out whether you love him with all your heart and with all your soul. 4. It is the Lord your God you must follow, and him you must revere. Keep his commands and obey him, serve him and hold fast to him. 5. That prophet or dreamer must be put to death for inciting rebellion against the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt and redeemed you from the land of slavery. That prophet or dreamer tried to turn you from the way the Lord your God commanded you to follow. You must purge the evil from among you. 6. If your very own brother, or your son or daughter, or the wife you love, or your closest friend secretly entices you, saying, let us go and worship other gods, gods that neither you nor your ancestors have known, 7. Gods of the peoples around you, whether near or far, from one end of the land to the other, 8. Do not yield to them or listen to them. Show them no pity. Do not spare them or shield them. 9. You must certainly put them to death. Your hand must be the first in putting them to death, and then the hands of all the people. 10. Stone them to death, because they tried to turn you away from the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. 11. Then all Israel will hear and be afraid, and no one among you will do such an evil thing again. 12. If you hear it said about one of the towns the Lord your God is giving you to live in. 13. That troublemakers have arisen among you and have led the people of their town astray, saying, Let us go and worship other gods, gods you have not known. 14. Then you must inquire, probe and investigate it thoroughly. And if it is true and it has been proved that this detestable thing has been done among you. 15. You must certainly put to the sword all who live in that town. You must destroy it completely, both its people and its livestock. 16. You are to gather all the plunder of the town into the middle of the public square and completely burn the town and all its plunder as a whole burnt offering to the Lord your God. That town is to remain a ruin forever, never to be rebuilt. 17. And none of the condemned things are to be found in your hands. Then the Lord will turn from his fierce anger, will show you mercy, and will have compassion on you. He will increase your numbers, as he promised on oath to your ancestors. 18. Because you obey the Lord your God by keeping all his commands that I am giving you today and doing what is right in his eyes.